Hold on to your seats, Knicks fans. The NBA offseason just gave us a blockbuster trade no one saw coming. Karl-Anthony Towns is heading to New York, while Julius Randle packs his bags for Minnesota. And oh, did we mention that it's a three-team deal that's shaken up the league? You won't believe how this move changes the game for the Knicks. The New York Knicks have just pulled off a massive deal, acquiring all-star big man Karl-Anthony Towns in a jaw-dropping three-team trade, involving the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Charlotte Hornets. Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo are headed to Minnesota, while the Hornets pick up some key pieces as well. But how will this trade impact the Knicks' title hopes? What does it mean for Minnesota's future? And where does Charlotte fit into all this? Stick around as we break down every angle of this blockbuster trade and what it means for each team moving forward. In the NBA, there's never a quiet day, not even in late September, when the peace of the summer generally rules. Fans were probably occupied with other things when a startling blockbuster deal rocked the league late on Friday night. Karl-Anthony Towns had been acquired by the New York Knicks in an amazing trade that brought Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo to the Minnesota Timberwolves, according to Shams of The Athletic. Later, the trade stretched into a three-team agreement, with DeQuan Jeffries and draft picks sent to the Charlotte Hornets, as if that wasn't enough. This agreement is an interesting development, especially since the players included have been regular targets of trade speculation. Still, the timing and trading structure caught many off guard. For the Knicks, this action meets two main needs. New York sorely needed a consistent center after losing Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency, and with Mitchell Robinson sidelined due to an injury, at least for the beginning of the season. They also wanted to fix their congested forward rotation, which already had outstanding players like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Pulling off this transaction, the Knicks killed two birds with one stone, securing a much-needed big man and adding an all-star to strengthen their squad. Former top selection Towns appears like the perfect match for Jalen Brunson. Brunson should really gain from Towns' presence, since he's known for his agility in confined areas and drive into the paint. Most people agree that Towns is among the best shooting big players in NBA history. His ability to stretch the floor will help Brunson especially. The shooting ability of Towns is well documented. Having averaged almost 5 shots from beyond the arc per game, he's hit an amazing 40.4% of his three-point tries since the 2017 to 2018 season. The centers of other teams will have to follow him to the perimeter, therefore opening up the paint for Brunson and other slashers like Bridges, Anunoby, and Josh Hart to target. Though Towns offers amazing offensive flexibility and shooting, the Knicks do lose some important assets in this deal. For his own offense, Randle, for instance, outperforms Towns and will be missed. As part of the Nova Knicks, a moniker for the collection of former Villanova players on the team, Donte DiVincenzo also takes away some of New York's depth and terminates an emotional tie. Although losing DiVincenzo could hurt emotional for supporters, it also drives New York to rely more on other players for depth. When it comes to rim protection, Towns definitely lags behind Hartenstein or Robinson. Still, Towns' offensive efforts should be more than offset with his defensive flaws. His arrival is supposed to boost a Knicks attack already strong. Two of the top 3-and-D forwards in the NBA, Bridges and Anunoby, provide the Knicks with other defensive value to depend on. Their defensive skill should assist Towns in relaxing the strain on him, so he can concentrate more on his offensive contribution. Of course, no transaction comes without hazards, and New York has one such possible drawback. The contract signed by Karl-Anthony Towns is enormous. When he's 32, a few years from now, he will be making $61 million yearly. That number might cause financial trouble for the NBA, even with their pay cap scheduled to grow. Jalen Brunson's signing of a below-market contract earlier this summer helps to partially offset the weight of that contract for now. The Knicks will, however, have less salary limit flexibility going ahead, which could hinder the next team-building initiatives. This transaction positions the Knicks to make a major push at an NBA championship, despite their financial hazards. Now they have a real possibility to fight for a title in the distant future. At this point of team building, paying significant money for top players is a required action. Along with Brunson and the rest of the gifted Knicks squad, Towns provides New York with a true championship window opening possibility. From Minnesota's vantage point, this move is far more difficult to justify. There were early problems with the fit between Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, but those seem to have been resolved by the 2023 and 24 season. Minnesota showed great performance in both the regular season and the postseason, while both were on the court together. Minnesota showed great performance in both the regular season and postseason while both were on the court together. Towns' shooting ability was a major factor in that success, something Julius Randle just cannot match. Randle is a 33.3% lifetime shooter from beyond the arc, and in the playoffs, defenses will probably dare him to attempt those shots. Given Gobert is already in the starting lineup and Anthony Edwards is still developing as a dependable three-point threat, this will make the Timberwolves' attack appear more confined. Edwards is making progress, nevertheless, losing Towns removes additional floor space, and having more space in the center would surely improve his slicing game. Though Towns was not a top rim protector like Dikembe Mutombo, his presence along Gobert created a significant front court that seriously disrupted teams, especially the Denver Nuggets, 2022-23 champion. Minnesota had an advantage from Towns' size and adaptability, particularly given a player like Nikola Jokic. Though a great player, Naz Reid won't exactly match what Towns brought to the table in that sense. Now Minnesota feels somewhat less suited to handle the elite big men of the league. Said otherwise, the Timberwolves don't totally lose out on this deal. Randle can help Mike Conley and Edwards reduce some of their playmaking responsibilities. Though not on the level of Towns, his ability to generate his own shot and support offense will still enable Minnesota to remain competitive. Donte DiVincenzo also adds a special set of abilities that the Timberwolves will value. Renowned for his disruptive, annoying defense, DiVincenzo is among the top rebounding guards in the NBA. His vitality off the bench might make him a covert Sixth Man of the Year contender. In many respects, especially in their backcourt, his addition might provide Minnesota with more depth and adaptability. The financial freedom the Wolves acquire from renegotiating Towns' large deal is another bonus. The agreement for Towns spans the 2027-28 season and included a frightening $61 million player option for that last year. Minnesota releases that lifetime obligation by trading him. Randle, on the other hand, is earning $28.9 million this season. His player option for next year is $30.9 million. Should things go south with Randle, he could either walk away in free agency or Minnesota could deal him more readily, given his reasonable contract. This provides the Timberwolves with some financial flexibility that would not be available if Towns had stayed. This agreement gains value from the draft pick the Knicks are forwarding to Minnesota as well. From the always struggling Detroit Pistons, the first-round pick has protections that rank it top 13 in 2025. Minnesota will still have more chances to see that pick transform into a first-rounder, even though it most certainly won't convey this summer. Before rising to be a second-rounder, should it never convert, it is top 11 protected in 2026 and top 9 protected in 2027. Although not a direct benefit right now, this selection might finally give the Wolves an additional piece to surround Edwards, or apply in upcoming deals. These benefits notwithstanding, it's difficult to get away from the impression that this transaction doesn't perfectly complement the Timberwolves' present course. Minnesota recently made it to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2004. Edwards is a budding star for the team. Every action the franchise takes at this time should be focused on best utilizing Edwards' skills and preparing him for success. Randle might not be the best fit with Edwards, given his sometimes ball-dominant approach and uneven jumper. Randle can score and handle the ball, but he might not complement Edwards in the manner Towns did, particularly given the spacing issues that would suddenly surface with both Randle and Gobert on the floor. For the Hornets, this deal's far simpler to grasp. All we know thus far is that Charlotte is getting a draft compensation and Daquan Jeffries in exchange for helping to arrange the deal. The Hornets are acting as a facilitator in a bigger transaction. It's logical to infer that they're not offering much to be a part of this trade. Primary sides in a trade often need a third party to assist with salary and asset exchange under the collective bargaining agreement of the NBA. Charlotte is currently serving as that third party. They're not risking anything to do so. With career averages of barely 3 points per game and a dismal 28% from three-point range, 27-year-old Jeffries is low. Though he might surpass expectations in Charlotte, the Hornets won't be very upset should he fail. They hardly gave up anything to get him, and Charlotte gains if the future draft selection they acquire proves to be a valuable rotation player. If not, their engagement in this trade has not caused any notable loss. Participating in this contract allows the Hornets to essentially adopt a low-risk, high-reward strategy. What do you think? Did New York just move into serious title contention, or will this trade come back to haunt them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest NBA trades, rumors, and analysis.